A group of 20 finance officials met this week in South Africa amid trade tensions and U.S. threats to withdraw from multilateral organizations. The discussions included debt, development finance, and just energy transition. Joining us is Miriam Altman from Altman Advisory and Professor of Fourth Industrial Revolution Practice at the University of Johannesburg. Prof, thank you so much for your time and just shooting straight into it. As the world experiences Trump's second tenure and the disturbances that it's brought to the world trade, how important would you say institutions like the World Trade Organization are in the globe right now, also considering that the G20 finance chiefs agreed about how integral it is?
It's a loaded question. Its role should be important, and one hopes that the G20 agreement would restore its importance. You know, there's 164 countries in the WTO that have to come to agreement on everything, that are completely diverse. The WTO has kind of lost its luster over a number of years. It wasn't caused by Trump. He has been driving a nail into the coffin, essentially, if one's going to be honest. The WTO is an incredibly important institution. You know, global trade rose by like 45 times volume-wise and maybe by almost 300-400 times in terms of value in the past 70 years, you know, since 1950. And so trade and the role of developing countries has grown enormously. What the WTO does is, instead of negotiating every single tariff line and every single agreement country by country, you set norms in relation to how it is. So you reduce effectively the transaction costs of doing trade and increase the certainty of doing trade. So what you need to know is, like, every single item requires a tariff otherwise, and every single country, as Trump's doing, then require negotiations. And those negotiations require multi-year kinds of arrangements. It's not a simple thing at all. So now that trade is so important to so many countries, the WTO is an important institution, but currently is not playing that role.
And just quickly, Prof, while that role has been deteriorating over time, as you mentioned, not necessarily caused by Trump per se, what has Trump's presidency of the United States, the second tenure, done for that decline? Has it exacerbated it?
Oh yeah, big time. Now, one of the most important things is that despite the declining influence, many countries do still go to the WTO to resolve disputes. So now Trump is not, they're basically blocking appointments to the appellate body of the WTO dispute settlement system. So that means it simply can't now resolve disputes. So it can't even apply that function. And then, as you know, Trump is just, you know, all bets are off. So there's a thing called most favored nation status, which means that if you have a certain arrangement with one country, it means that every country in the WTO should have the same benefits. If you reduce tariffs, that has to be for everybody. Now what he's saying is all bets are off.
Well,
you know, it's just, yeah.
Sorry, you can continue. Just complete that thought, please, Prof.
Well, you know, just the obvious, that he's opening things up with every single country. There may be some countries, you know, India has developed a very strong industrial base and does impose very high tariffs. So fair enough. But to go after Lesotho, you know, it's really just chaos, what's been created here.
Chaos is the word indeed. Prof, really appreciate your time. Suddenly, unfortunately, we run out of time, so we're going to have to let you go there. That was Professor Miriam Altman.